Hey everybody, we're back.
Welcome.
Yes, welcome to the Beantown Beatdown. Matthew Burris.
James Thomas.
Yep, we're back and we got some somewhat good news and bad news. But first, let's open this up. This is a picture from my house.
Nice. We're opening up a full picture of cold one to kick it back with here.
Yep, this is a Boston candy apple. This is a drink I've talked about, a drink that I've made. And this drink, it's a mix of
We're all good.
of Ciroc green apple vodka with Ocean Spray cran apple juice and also Ocean Spray cranberry grape. Of course, the cran apple I had to get the diet one because they didn't have the original, but gotta make do.
Gotta make do. But hey, cheers to that. Cheers to making do.
Cheers.
Yeah, not bad at all.
Oh yeah, man, this is a good drink. That's a damn good drink. So first, let's get the bad news out of the way. The coronavirus. Damn, I hate this coronavirus.
Yeah, exactly. And for those just tuning in, this still is the good old Beantown Beatdown, but but we just have to talk about what everyone's talking about.
Yeah, of course the thing is messing up a little bit. Like, whoa,
we're fucking.
Yeah, what's going on there?
I'm not sure, but we're gonna stabilize. we're not getting too trippy here.
Yeah.
Keep on
going. Yeah. But unfortunately the coronavirus has hit Boston. There's a state of emergency and 92 people have been infected and I think one person has died. And what I found out about, I knew about the coronavirus going around and stuff. We all knew that.
Yeah.
But for me, it was Thursday night. I was at King's in Copley, which, by the way, you and I are definitely going there for New Year's Eve. New Year's Eve, you and Mike, I will drag both your asses there. We're gonna sing karaoke. Oh, because
King's at Copley sounds good.
Oh yeah, because they got bowling there too. But
let's get back to the story.
All right. So, anyways, I'm there doing karaoke. I did I did Backstreet Boys. All I Have to Give, which you can find on my YouTube channel. All I Have to Give, Friday night edition of the Karaoke King.
Sweet.
And then before I got on stage a second time, found out that my mom was watching the coronavirus special on Fox 25 News, and she says, "Listen, you need to come home now. They just issued a story on the coronavirus. There's a lot of people that are getting infected, and they're saying that it's you shouldn't be out and all that." And at first I wasn't going to be in a rush, but then I was like, well, okay, this thing has scared her. And plus it was snowing that night, even though we didn't get much snow. And I was like, okay, let me make her happy, so that way she won't be bitching and moaning at me. And then so I did one more song. Then I went straight home.
Yeah. Exactly.
And then I caught a little bit of it on TV, and then Mom was like, "Okay, you see that, right?" And they said they advise everyone to not go out unless it's necessary. Don't go to work unless it's necessary. Don't.
In this economy, it's necessary though. But anyway,
if you're sick,
the point we should make.
Yeah, if you're sick, stay home. Don't be in too many crowded restaurants. They haven't shut down restaurants or anything like that, but even still, just to be on the safe side, not go there. And plus, they've canceled a lot of events. They canceled the St. Patty's Day parade. They're thinking about canceling the Boston Marathon. And this is really affecting my karaoke life, my social life. Fuck.
Yeah, good points all. But yeah, the point we should make is yeah, be be cautious, be aware, and listen to. I mean, the news is so sensational. So what do you know what to believe? Listen to actual scientists behind the news, not necessarily the news itself on everything. But because face masks, if you touch something, it's not, it doesn't actually help you as much. So this whole buying up of face masks, we got to find better ways than that because we're run out of the supply of face masks. And also, it does not involve toilet paper. I don't know who got that shit started. It's yeah, okay, have like cleaning supplies. I almost said have frickin' toiletry around you if you're getting sick. But otherwise, it's not about toilet paper. It is about soap, hand sanitizer, and trying to use your wits about you.
Yeah, exactly. And they also say, after you come in, once you come inside, also wash your hands, use a lot of sanitizer, soap, and I mean, like this is really, this is really affecting Boston, and it's. I mean, I don't know what to do. I mean, because like Memorial Day weekend, me and Kenny, we planned on going to Kings, and now I don't know what's going to happen, and I mean, we'll just have to wait and see.
Well, it's still a ways away. I mean, I know I'm thinking about Memorial Day as well, but that's still a ways away. Right now, we just find out what happened and get through this, and yeah, I mean, my pharmacist said it best when she said, I wouldn't tell you not to wear a mask if you don't feel, if it makes you feel better, but there are more important like precautions to be taking than that.
Yeah, I mean, like South by Southwest has been canceled, and there's already talks. There's been some talks of maybe canceling the Olympics, which, oh, please do not cancel. Please do not cancel.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, because like if they, because like I understand, safety comes first as always, but between this and what the Trump administration's been doing and just all this bad stuff, I mean, we need something good. The world needs something good, something to enjoy and just
you're right. And actually, maybe they need exactly that. Maybe they need exactly the Olympics, the international cooperation, and all the things that it's supposed to stand for, and that the athletes, the athletes bring this. We've talked before on other episodes, like I've been candid. I'm a casual fan of fighting, right?
Yes.
But the athletes, what they do, athletes in general, is show us the heights of human potential, and that's what we need on display, and that's what they give us. That's what athletes give us. You thought that fighting is art. Well, athleticism, sports, all those things, gymnastics, that's art, and I know that.
Well, yeah, absolutely. Well, absolutely. I mean, I'm not a big gymnastics fan, but for me, for the Olympics, it's judo, taekwondo.
Everything.
Yeah, it's judo, taekwondo, boxing, and basketball.
Right.
And hearing about LeBron James being on the U.S. team, I mean, come on. I mean, I don't want to miss LeBron James, play ball and get another gold medal.
Mm-hmm. And he's like that. He's a hero for all of us.
Yeah, exactly. And plus, this year in the Olympics, it's supposed to be the year where we have karate. In the Olympics, the first time we're having karate, and it's going to be displayed in Japan, which is the birthplace of karate. And I mean, of course, now because of the threat of the coronavirus, I think they said it's either I know it's Asia. I think they said either China, Japan, or one of those countries.
And mainly started in China.
Yeah, so it's like now it's just like, oh man. I mean, I just hope it doesn't get canceled. And plus, there was even some talks about WrestleMania getting canceled. I mean, Stephanie McMahon said that, no, we're not going to cancel it. But, I mean, you never know. I mean, in the weeks to come, and stuff. I mean, plus, if they do, I mean, I know Vince McMahon, he's not going to want to cancel. I mean, come hell or high water. But, I mean, ultimately, it is up to the government, because WrestleMania this year is going to be in Tampa Bay, Florida. It's going to be in the home where the Buccaneers play.
Mm-hmm.
So, and plus, we're supposed to be getting, Goldberg is coming back and John Cena is coming back.
Nice. Yeah,
so
totally.
Yeah, and we got Shayna Baszler taking on Becky Lynch, and we got, also Rhea Ripley versus Charlotte Flair, which is going to be one hell of a dream match,
Nice.
hopefully. And it's like, if they cancel WrestleMania, I understand. Like I said, for safety reasons, I understand, but still, a lot of. Think about all those fans who bought those tickets. And,
well, not just that. It's a big loss. It's a big cultural loss. And yeah, it would be. I'm totally there with you. So we got to see how this plays out. And just for comparison's sake, we do got to remember that there actually is a virus that has ravished people and has ravished our communities for a long time, and always comes in and sweeps and then comes back out, and it actually does that every year, and that's the flu. And because of these advancements in medicine, we've made it where the flu is just part of this part of this yearly cycle. Okay. So it's like, yes, be completely cautious, but also don't put everything on hold, for this.
Yeah, I know Vince McMahon's gonna wanna continue on, because knowing him, because like all the money poured into it and stuff like that, and plus, I know it's up to the government, but I bet if they tell him that, they're gonna get the evil Vince McMahon who's gonna be like, no, damn it, we need to go on. Because in pro wrestling, it's like that three circus mentality. It's like the show must go on.
Right. Totally.
Mind you, this is a company that went on after one of their wrestler, when Owen Hart died, when he fell from the balcony, and accidentally, and they continued on, and then also
that's dedication.
Well, yeah, and some people thought that the show shouldn't have gone on. And,
that's
but again, it's that three ring circus mentality. The show must go on, and stuff like that. And knowing Vince McMahon, he's going to be like, no, damn it, we got to go on. Mr. McMahon, what about what the government says? Fuck the government and fuck you.
That's bringing it.
Oh yeah, I've a lot of years watching wrestling and knowing Vince McMahon's voice. Actually, Bruce Pritchard, of course, as we all know, as Brother Love. I love you. He does a much better impression of Vince McMahon than me.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah, and also speaking of WWE and pro wrestling, today I bought the WWE Network. And just for WrestleMania, and also because I wanted to watch classic wrestling, and
tell us what you mean by that.
Yeah,
what you mean about a subscription?
Yeah, subscription on my Roku.
Yeah,
and of course, there's been talks that WWE might be moving their pay-per-views from the network to another streaming a streaming platform. They've been saying it could be ESPN, it could be Hulu. It could be anything, we don't know. But and some people have said, like, well, if WWE moves their pay-per-views to another streaming, or they get rid of the pay-per-views on their network, I'm gonna cancel my subscription. Me, no, because it would suck, but at the same time, there's also their original programming. They have documentaries. They have exclusive shows. Like right now, they got the Ruthless Aggression Era, which is a documentary they're talking about, like when after WWE bought WCW and ECW, and then we got the new stars, the Batistas, and John Cena. His years, the early years, and to being the superstar that he is now.
Totally. Yeah.
And they got like Mid-South Wrestling, WCW, ECW, old school pay-per-views, and they have special series on there. I'm not going to cancel my subscription, especially now. And plus I've even gotten some good ideas for a podcast, actually, on classic wrestling. I mean,
there you go. I was about to
thinking.
say you are like that. You are like that old school fan. You are, you do have your names. You do have, if you were, if it was back in the day, you'd have this book. You'd have a complete book with all the wrestlers and their hit points and charisma and all this whatever else you call it, all those types of things. You would have all the stats in this big old binder, and that's the type of fan you'd be, and there's freaking awesomeness in that.
Well, yeah, I think it's out of creativity. I mean, the monks, of course, having also known about Chinese kung fu and all that, they say the monks, they have a saying that spirituality leads to creativity. And I think I have a great spirit about myself, and I'm always coming up with something. I'm a very creative person. I'm very visual, and
we both are. That's why we're drawn to this.
Well, yeah, absolutely, absolutely, and I mean, I'm always thinking about what the next big thing, because I want to grow. I want to get better. I want to try new things. I want to do new.
And you have to. That's the other thing. Like, in order to be as big as you need to be creatively, you have to.
Yeah, of course. That's why I have. That's why outside of this show, and also outside of what what we do for our Facebook page,
Facebook Live, check it out.
Yeah, exactly. I do Purple Sunday, which is about Prince and the Minneapolis Sound.
Yeah.
For all those Prince fans out there. I do what else do I do? I do K&M Pro Wrestling. That's another show I do.
Right.
And I do a whole lot of things. I mean, I'm even gonna do some more stuff on my own personal Facebook page, and it's good to keep busy and
keep busy. Soon to get into radio. This one, yep.
Oh yeah, and I'm also talking about that. I got a producing certificate over at BNN, and I'm gonna try and do some. I'm gonna develop my own radio show.
Yeah, indeed.
Yeah, it's gonna be. Yeah, it's gonna be well, the name of the show is called Matt's World, and it's going to be a little bit of everything. It's going to have some
got some inside scoop here.
Yeah, it's going to be about some pro wrestling. It's going to be about combat sports.
Nice.
It's going to be about music, movies. And also talk about I'm going to give some words of wisdoms, like some philosophy and stuff.
Yeah,
and
so you're hearing it here first. By the way, this will be a thing later, and you, everyone who's watching, we're hearing it here first.
Yeah, absolutely, and also. See what was I going to say? Oh yeah, and also it's just going to be a fun show. I mean, there's going to I mean, put it this way, it'll be just like this show. It'll be a no what's we call it? the no something zone,
escape zone.
Actually. Oh yeah, the escape zone. Yeah, it's gonna be the escape zone. Because over at BNN, when you do radio, you're only allowed 1 hour. So make room for other people. And my feeling is that for 1 hour, I want it to be a show where it's like everyone can forget about their problems, even forget about the coronavirus for a while. We can forget about the war. We can forget about shootings and all this stuff.
Right. It's for regular people that just want to kick back.
Well, yeah,
regular people want to kick back and just listen to some soothing sports talk once in a while.
Well, not just sports, but music and just a little bit of
sports, entertainment, that type of thing.
Yeah, a little bit of everything, because because that was the thing that you and I did when we were over at Scott TV, and and I tried to, even with here, because I was telling you, listen, man, we need to be in an escape zone, because I remember specifically talking to you about this. I said, look, man, not that I don't mind your political stuff, but you gotta understand, dude, these guys are, they're working hard jobs. They're working at jobs that they don't like. They got bosses. They have a boss that is looking for every excuse to fire them, and on top of that, they go home to they might have a nagging wife and nagging children at home, and then they got to watch not only the local news, but then there's also CNN and Fox News, MSNBC, CNBC, fuck NBC.
Yeah. He was very candid about this. He was very clear that that you want to be for the regular guy, or regular people that that do want to kick back, and so that's what your angle can be going forward. Because when you think of a radio show, think of a podcast, those of you that are sports fans, that's exactly what you want.
Well, yeah, absolutely. Because these people the next day, they got to go up and go back to that bad job and that bad boss, and they got to do it all over again. So for that 1 hour, we can be that escape. We can be the escape. We can be the people that be like, oh man, I don't think about anything, I can just have fun, just for 1 hour, just that 1 hour. Sometimes that's all it takes is 1 hour.
Oh yeah, it really does. Sometimes just take an hour to yourself, and whatever way that may be, So we've had disagreements in the past, but we work together well now, and we find our audience, and we find what works, and we talk to them.
Yeah, not to mention the makeup sex is pretty good.
Pour this drink over.
Yeah, Michael's probably listens like, what? He's like, Gabe, is there something you want to tell me?
Don't worry, he won't worry about it.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's evolution, man. It's us evolving. It's Bloody Knuckles is going to be evolving, and of course, we're going to be adding some new people, like my friend Kenny Benesh. Pretty soon, I'm going to get Prema too. I'll try to get Prema on my other shows as well as this show.
This is an invitation to those of you that were mentioned. Why don't you talk to them and invite them on?
Oh yeah, especially Prema, because Prema's our good friend, and I've loved having her on our show, and
she's always welcome back.
Yeah, absolutely, she's always welcome back. And right now she's watching NXT and AEW for me, because normally around this time I'm watching NXT and AEW Pro Wrestling, for K&M Pro Wrestling to report. But
right, so that's a friend.
Well, yeah, we have an agreement. We have an agreement that if one of us is going to miss a SmackDown or a Raw or one of the wrestling shows, the other one watches it, and then we tell them details, what to watch and stuff like that.
All right, that's fair.
Yeah, and
so anyway, we will have more guests on as you grow and expand.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And you know what? And matter of fact, when I get my radio show off the ground, I want you to be the first guest.
All right.
Yeah, hopefully you can get a day off.
Yeah, exactly. Here, let's pour some more and cheers to that.
Yeah, you can pour yourself some more. This is my second glass.
Being the first guest on your radio show.
Yeah, into new beginnings too.
New beginnings. That's what today's about.
Yeah, it is new beginnings, because this is going to be the last time we do a weekly show because I'm developing all this stuff, and Gabe has his job. We are going to be doing this once a month. We're going to be changing formats.
Right.
It's going to be the same show, but it's going to be different. We're going to be talking about topics on fighting. Like we're going to talk about and me and him, we talked about this. Like striking versus grappling, or about a specific fighter, or a decade, or about a just all stuffs.
Right, a movement, for instance, like the decade of the undercards, decade of the what's it, the low weights, and decade of the lightweights. Yeah.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And it's kind of like of course, going back to wrestling, this kind of reminds me of the Legends of Wrestling it used to be on WWE 24/7, and now you can catch the old episodes on the WWE Network, which I have. And they would talk about stuff like hardcore wrestling, or they talk about a specific wrestler, or they talk about wrestling in the South, wrestling in the 70s, the 80s, and
exactly.
That
different
sort of
slices of the whole pie about wrestling and striking.
And I kind of always want to do a show like that, but now we can do it here. It's going to be it's still the Beantown Beatdown, except we won't be doing news and all that stuff. It's going to be more of more of like talking about a little bit about today's fighting, comparing it to old school stuff as well.
Yeah.
And and for old school like MMA fans or old school boxing fans, that should be great as well, because because on my Beer and Brawl show, I get a lot of old school boxing fans, that like watching the fights of Sugar Ray Robinson and Sugar Ray Leonard and, Mike Tyson, Joe Louis and Muhammad Ali and Joe Frazier.
Yeah, exactly.
So it's so we're not going anywhere. This isn't goodbye. This is a little bit of see you later. And and of course we'll be back on April 12th. Will be our first episode, and
we're going to be switching over to Sunday, and
also we're going to do our first audio. We're going to do our first audio as well, because I got Anchor on my cell phone, which can upload to Spotify. So that means this will be both an audio and a video show.
Hell yeah. Expanding out, expanding out with our first new episode with this.
Yeah, absolutely. And then people can take more notice of us, and hopefully we can be more famous, and Gabe can finally quit his job at CBS.
I know you were going to say quit my job. We'll see, mister. We'll see. One step.
Oh, hey, you can't be a world famous podcaster and still work at CBS. They'll be looking at you and like, dude, you have a great show on Spotify and you're number one. Why are you still working at a CBS?
Well, that will be a happy problem to have when it happens. All right.
Yeah. Also, one more other thing of bad news. I don't know if you heard about this, but Alex Jones got a DWI.
Oh, yeah. I think I had seen like a headline or some shit. Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
I didn't read much into it. All I knew is that he was driving drunk, and I saw the mugshot. Do you see his mugshot? He definitely looked hungover.
No, I should have taken a closer look.
Yeah. What do you think the excuse is going to be?
God knows, really. God knows. When you can believe some crazy things,
Well, the government, they spiked my drink. I only had one drink, and then they put in something special in there that made me drive.
Not aware.
Yeah, I was not aware of it. It is a conspiracy by the Trump administration. They are trying to shut me up once and for all.
They're gonna go down swinging. Yeah, exactly. We got his number.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. But don't drink and drive. Come on. And plus, we like Alex Jones, and we hope that hopefully he learns his lesson from this. But whatever punishment, we're not against him or anything like that. We love the guy. Plus, he's a friend of Joe Rogan's, and anyone who's cool with Joe Rogan is cool with me. But at the same time, whatever happens, he should be whatever punishment that the police give him, the courts give him, fine. It's he should be punished to the extent of the law.
Yeah, exactly. Safety first. Doesn't matter what you believe, and we don't hold any ill will, but yeah, you can't endanger people. So.
Yeah, exactly. Look, I like to drink. I like to have a good time. Both of us do, but we know not to get behind the wheel. Of course, I can't get behind the wheel anyway. I don't have a permit or a license. You still have a license though, right?
I do. Yeah. So very, very responsible, like you have to be. So anyway, I guess we wish him luck, but we also are cool with whatever sentence they bring, as you said.
Yeah, absolutely. And now we're going to liven up the move with some NCAA basketball talk, because that's what I promoted.
Nice.
And NCAA playoffs starting on St. Patty's Day.
Sweet.
Yes. By the way, you got a day off on St. Patty's Day?
We'll talk about it later. Anyway, keep going.
Oh, so that's for like off the air?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So on Sunday they're gonna announce the bracket. This is my cell phone, by the way. I'm just trying to relay the news and all that stuff.
Okay. They're announcing the bracket.
Yeah, they're announcing the brackets. The selections on Saturday and Sunday.
Yep.
And right now my phone is not cooperating. Shit.
That always sucks. But hey, as they say, the show must go on.
Yes. And right now we're in the midst of the all the conference tournaments. I mean, the Big East, the Big Ten, and all that. Yep. I know that Gonzaga is the number 1 seed, but Creighton and Seton Hall and Villanova, they've been doing pretty well in the Big East as well.
Right.
And I've seen a little bit of college basketball. I haven't watched as many college ball as much as I would have wanted to, but it's shaping up to be a pretty good tournament. And I love March Madness around this year. It's especially in the early tournaments, the first rounds, because all the games are on CBS, TNT, True TV, and TNT. It's like,
right.
That first day, it's just like, getting some good food and some beers and, watching some good college basketball.
Right. Indeed.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like you were talking about before.
Yeah, absolutely. I remember when they started I was going to a center house, which is treatment daycare, a day treatment program. And and I remember on my lunch break I went to I went to Kinsale's and had a Smirnoff and cranberry juice and watched some good basketball for an hour, and then I had to go back. But of course, I don't think they smelled alcohol. I got away with it. So
here we go. But anyway, point being.
But yeah, of course, and plus before this coronavirus thing, I wanted to go out to the bar and have a beer, watch the games. But I guess now I got to be stuck at home. I got to be stuck at home and watch the game. Not that I wouldn't mind, but I want to be amongst the people, have a beer, and be there watching all the games.
Yeah, exactly. Well, for those that that are able to do that, go out and fucking cheer for these teams, and have a good time.
Yeah, absolutely. And of course, I'm gonna try and get me a bracket as well. Print out a bracket, and then I don't do the whole I don't really predict. I predict, but I don't do like the whole thing where it's like fantasy, where it's like I pick way beforehand. I just I take it one bracket at a time, and I say, okay, for this bracket in the first round, I'm picking this team, and then see how it goes.
Right. Well, that's probably good. It's probably more indicative, more fun, more like what it's really like. A little bit of chaos.
Yeah, absolutely. And I don't know. Do you watch college basketball or?
Right. I was about to say I'm not the greatest person to be to be chatting this up with you at the moment, but I've heard a lot from my friends that follow the brackets and all that. How it's how it's a good pastime. Keeps you sharp. You gotta either make predictions or kind of go with the flow like you do.
Yeah, absolutely, and of course. And of course, after the championship game, we hear that famous song "One Shining Moment." Yeah, and in fact, actually, the guy who wrote that song, he said that he was inspired by watching Larry Bird play, and
oh, nice.
And he wrote that song, and since then, it's been sung by almost every artist, for the NCAA. I mean, for the NCAA tournament, and
right. Wow.
Yeah, and it really is, man. Because that song, in a nutshell, it is all about college basketball, and
right.
I mean, just think about all those players in tournament in the history of the tournament. Even the ones who never went to the who never went to the big dance and never won a championship. It's just like they've had great moments, and it's created great big players. Throughout all the years.
Totally.
Magic Johnson, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, Larry Bird, Michael Jordan, Grant Hill, Shaquille O'Neal.
Totally.
Derek,
all the greats.
Yeah, Derrick Rose, Joakim Noah. I mean, the Fab Four. Fab Five. Chris Webber.
You got the Fab Four, and in boxing. But anyway.
Yeah. Chris Webber, Jalen Rose, Juwan Howard, and the other two players who I can't remember right now of the Fab Five.
Yeah.
But just great college ball moments, great basketball, and and we're seeing players, who could potentially go into the NBA and stuff, and who become legends because of the tournament.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
it's a great origin story,
Yeah, exactly. And for me, I think, of course, I'm a Duke fan. But people always shit on Duke. Let me. It's like I've said, like, the University of Alabama in football. The Alabama Crimson Tide, Roll Tide. They are the Duke of football, because they won so many championships, and they're they're a big franchise in college ball, and so is Duke. But Duke has produced a lot of great players, and Mike Krakowski, great coach. He's in my opinion, one of the greatest coach in all of basketball, whether it's college, pros, or even the international ball, the Olympics.
Oh man, that's a big statement.
Well, yeah, winning 3 gold medals with the Dream Team. This is a college coach who's never coached NBA players before. He's coached college players who went on to the NBA, but straight pros.
Right.
I remember his first year with the Dream Team, with Carmelo and LeBron and Kobe and Kevin Durant and all those players. It's like you got a lot of those players who got a lot of egos. And he managed to to coach those egos and stuff like that. Yeah.
I get it. I can see it. And that must be a hell of a thing.
Well, yeah, absolutely. And we also talk about, like, people also talk about all-time North Carolina. North Carolina, but all-time, like, college teams of, like, UCLA and, like, who they put in the rosters and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Imagine if taking all those players and putting them on one team. It's like for me, like North Carolina, just like I mentioned, like center would be. For center, it would be Eric Montross. Eric Montross was a good player. He wasn't all that good when he came to the Celtics.
Yeah.
But still a good college player. Power forward, it would be James Worthy.
Nice.
Come on. James Worthy was one. Before Michael came, he was like the best player at North Carolina. Small forward, it would be Vince Carter, another great player to come out of UNC. Shooting guard, of course, no debate, Michael Jordan.
Hells yeah.
Yeah, and then point guard, I would put Kenny the Jet Smith, who actually played with Michael in like his junior year of college, and and that's like that'd be a great all-time dream team right there. And for UC,
stretch across like freaking the teams, the generations.
Yeah, and for Duke, let's see. At center, you would put at center. I would put Christian Laettner. Laettner can play both the center and the power forward position.
Okay, yeah.
Power forward. I'm gonna have to. Ooh, how would I put a power forward there? Tip of the tongue. Shane Battier.
Okay, yeah.
At power forward.
Yep.
Small forward, Grant Hill, no question.
Okay, yep.
Shooting guard, I would put Bob. I'd have to put Bob Hurley.
Okay.
Yeah, Bobby Hurley.
Sweet.
And at point guard, I would put Kyrie Irving. Gotcha. They're both technically point guards, but because the North Carolina Tar Heels and Duke rivalry,
Yeah,
so
exactly.
that is the Crimson Tide and Auburn Tigers of college basketball. Roll Tide, War Eagle, that sort of thing. I mean, and you know what? That'd be a hard thing because it's like, Jordan. I mean, like nobody could handle Jordan. Michael would tear, Bob Hurley and Kyrie Irving up in his prime.
Exactly. And I was about to say, Mike's gotten himself into a dilemma here. Who the fact who put against.
And Kenny Jet Smith. Kenny Jet Smith was a great player himself. Two-time NBA champion with the Rockets and a great slam dunker. But against Kyrie Irving, well, you know what? I think Kyrie Irving could handle K. Smith. Bob Hurley couldn't handle Michael Jordan.
Right.
Now Grant Hill versus Grant Hill against Vince Carter. Oh, I gotta go with Vince Carter on that one.
All right.
At the power forward position, I gotta give it to Shane Battier because he's a lot taller than James Worthy. He's good defensive player.
Yep.
Montrose versus Leitner.
Is that a toss up? Just like a toss up before the rebound?
Yeah, definitely a toss up. But I would say North Carolina would win by maybe 3 points.
Okay.
Yeah, absolutely. But I don't know. Now I know you say you're not a college basketball fan, but have you ever watched? When you were playing basketball and all that stuff. I know you probably watched the NBA, but did you ever watch college ball or?
Right. Such a long time ago. So no, unfortunately, I did not get into college ball. I might have done if I was playing in high school. I would have done. But playing in middle school, you're just learning the fundamentals and trying to get in with the power forward. So So if I had been watching in high school, I would think that I would definitely be have followed that and be a lot more into that. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, absolutely. And absolutely. And I got into college basketball by playing the March Madness video games that used to come out for EA Sports. I don't know if you remember those games, but
I do remember EA Sports. Yeah.
I used to play. Yeah, EA Sports, man. I played. I was down with EA Sports like all the way back to the days when they had like the Bulls versus Lakers and Bulls versus Trailblazers and Lakers versus Celtics video games.
Right.
And also NBA Live too, and I would play the March Madness games, and they have the old college teams. And I would always be the old college teams too, and be like the Michigan State Spartans of '79, the Indiana State Sycamores of '79, of course, with Larry Bird as well. I'd be the North Carolina teams as well, and the UCLA Bruins teams with Kareem Abdul-Jabbar.
Yep.
And and I've loved college, and ever since then, and then I would watch the college basketball tournaments on TV.
Totally.
Yeah, so ever since then, I've been a college basketball fan.
Nice. Yep. Exactly. It's it's how it goes. Get in young, or if you don't, it's a fast moving train.
Yeah, absolutely. And also, another funny story about the NCAA playoffs. I remember this was during my second year at New Mission, and I remember for the NCAA playoffs, I had Doritos, Rolitos. I don't know if you remember those.
Rolitos? No, I thought you were going to say the Bugles. Things you put on your fingers.
No. Yeah, no, I never liked the Bugles, but
you got jumped down on the Bugles.
No, I tried them. I never liked them.
Anyway,
but I had Doritos, Rolitos, which was like like the Jose Olay Rolitos.
Okay, yeah.
And I had the Edmonds chocolate chip cookies, and and the Giorno pizza, and I ate half the pizza. All that during the first round of the tournament, and then the next day, I went to school. I had a bad stomach ache, man. I remember eating all that, and I remember telling I had to call my mom and say, like, Mom, I gotta go. Like, my stomach is hurting, because I had like bad diarrhea, and I remember, and I remember telling May Lisa, who was a school counselor and stuff, and still a good friend of mine to this day. And she said, I remember telling her all this. She said, "Well, you about to blow up your bathroom."
Right.
Yeah, and which eventually I did.
Right. But yeah, I mean that's we all overdo it every once in a while, and sometimes you overdo it with drink, sometimes you overdo it with food, but I can see how, especially that first tournament of the whole March Madness, you were definitely, I can see how you definitely want to get into it and overdo it.
Well, yeah, absolutely, man. Because it's college basketball, man. This is this is really the best, and plus it's on it's on the channels, like I said before, CBS, TNT, TBS, and True TV. It's like a lot of going back and forth with channels and watching all the games. It's like
I see. So that's also what it's about. It's about mixing it up too.
Yeah, and plus those games come on in the afternoon too. Yeah, it's one of those things where it's like, you can. Of course, you have to get the apps to live stream it and stuff. Of course, you got to do it at work. Yeah, I don't know. Not you, because you're still the new guy. So you can absolutely get fired. If you weren't new, they'd be like, oh, okay. They'd be like, okay, listen, dude, just 10 minutes on that, and then get back to work.
Yeah, exactly. No, I can't quite stream the games as it is right now. But one of these days.
Anyway. Well, yeah, absolutely, man, absolutely, and and plus, it's always good to watch the games with some good food, with some wings and all that stuff. Of course, for Lent I gave up meat, so no, but I can still watch it with some Boca burgers, some good soy burgers, yeah, and some and also some hummus too.
Yeah. Check out the Impossible Burger Challenge. Did they know that they pinpoint the real burger or the Impossible Burger? It's an interesting video.
Oh yeah, the Impossible Burger at Burger King. I've been meaning to try that. Actually.
Yeah, you should, and you should watch that video where they basically have like five burgers or six, and they basically have people decide which one is which, and some people get it, but I don't know, maybe everyone doesn't pinpoint it.
Well, yeah. Absolutely, and let's see what else I was going to say. Oh yeah, also. In my opinion, talking about college basketball, if there were 10 all-time great players to come out of college basketball, the great ones who wanted to become great pro players, my top 10 would be Grant Hill, Bill Russell, Will Chamberlain, Bill Walton. I'm going to make this fast. Kyrie Irving, Kenny the Jet Smith,
Mm-hmm.
Kareem Abdul-Jabbar,
Okay.
Magic Johnson, and of course Michael Jordan.
Okay.
Honorary mention: Larry Bird.
All right. All right.
What about you? You got any?
Yeah, well, it's not as climactic there because I have a lot of the same ones that you do. I have Larry Bird, I definitely have Jordan, LeBron,
LeBron never played college. He came out of high school.
Oh, okay. See, I thought you mentioned him in your list, but all right, scratch that. Definitely Jordan, Bird, and like, yeah, the list would keep going from there. Pretty much most of the ones you just said.
Yeah, and also I found out that the Big East conference is 40 years old to this day.
Oh, really?
Yeah, Big East Conference basketball,
Big
man.
East.
Yeah, because nobody was talking about the East Coast in college basketball before they came along, and
right,
and they were the
so
first.
They broke a trend, basically.
Yeah, they had, and plus, it's because of that. They were playing in like major arenas. They were playing in Madison Square Garden,
right,
Boston Garden, the
right.
Capitol Center,
yep,
the Philadelphia Spectrum when Dr. J was playing.
Nice.
Yeah, and they took all those great players. I mean, look at all the players that came from the Big East. I mean, Patrick Ewing, Chris Mullin, Pearl Washington, Ed Pickney.
Yeah.
Let's see what else. Alonzo Mourning, Dikembe Mutombo, Carmelo Anthony, Ray Allen, Allen Iverson.
Nice.
Yes, I mean, like the Big East, and plus, and that's why they always, when the Big East tournaments, they do it at Madison Square Garden too. I mean, it's like
yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
home epicenter.
Yeah, absolutely. And Michael Jordan said it best. You can't call yourself a real basketball player unless you play at Madison Square Garden. I mean, of course nowadays it's bad. It's not a good time to be a Knick fan at Madison Square Garden because of what James Dolan did to what he did to Spike Lee.
Yeah,
and now
yeah,
Spike Lee doesn't want to come to the next game. Fuck you, James Dolan.
All right. We don't have to get into that.
Yeah.
Let's just move on.
Yeah, let's give it more positive. But
and wrap it up.
Yeah. Well, yeah, we've been going for like 51 minutes, so
That's a good time.
Yeah, so in closing, maybe another 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 minutes, or 4 minutes. Madison Square Garden, man. I mean, it's the home of the Big East. Like great college basketball. Of course, the NIT, the National Invitational Tournament for players who couldn't make it to the NCAA playoffs.
Yeah,
and a lot of great history there with the Big East. A lot of great players, college and pros play there. In fact, Michael Jordan and Chris Mullin played against each other at Madison Square Garden before they went to the pros.
Nice.
Yeah,
exactly.
And Madison Square. I mean, if I was a young high school player, I would want to play in the Big East just to say that I could play in the Madison Square Garden before I became a pro. Because it's like, and I think all college teams. The college teams that have the college players where they play in the states where they have the big arenas where NBA players play in, they should play in those same arenas because it gets them ready for the pros. It's like that way because also as a coach, if you're a college coach, you want to see, can they handle the pressure of playing in a big arena. You don't want players who can play on the college level. You want players who can play in the NBA level. You want a player who in 3 or 4 years are they going to be able to play in the NBA? Just like that coach who used to coach the Pony Express, the SMU team. He said that in the documentary. He said, I don't want players who can play on the collegiate level. I want players who can play on the NFL level.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, what's your thought of that?
Well, I mean, that's pretty much it. Except, how do you get to the NBA level? If not most of them, except LeBron, as you said, and others.
LeBron never played college.
That's what I'm saying.
Okay.
That's what I'm saying. Okay,
Yeah.
Except for him, except for some other big names, a lot of them did come up through college. So yes, I get the idea, like they should be at a certain level. But how do some of them come up, if how do most of them come up, if not from excelling in the college level?
Well, yeah, I mean, it's just like, well, that's why I think, the colleges where the states where the colleges are from, like UCLA should be playing in the Staples Center, Boston College, Northeastern, Harvard, and Boston University. They should all be playing at the TD Bank North Garden, and I think St. John's and St. John's should be playing at Madison Square Garden.
Yeah,
just like they should be playing at Madison Square Garden, and also in San Francisco, they got an arena where it's going to be the new home of the Golden State Warriors. The University of San Francisco. They should be playing where the Warriors are playing. Totally. Absolutely. I mean, of course, imagine being a college basketball player in the '90s playing for Illinois University or for DePaul University. It's like you could be in the '90s. You could be in the same arena playing, and you're gonna be playing in the same arena where the Bulls play, and you could be in the same locker room where Michael Jordan is. That gives you motivation. That lights a fire up in your ass.
Damn right.
You're like, hey, of course, knowing me, I'd be like, hey, where's Michael? That place? Michael Jordan's locker? That's my locker too. This is my locker. Me and Michael Jordan are the only ones that can hang up our clothes in there. Yeah, absolutely, man. And plus
motivation. Sometimes you need a fucking motivation.
Yeah, and plus, and of course, not everyone is can play at the pro level. It's like it's like when you take pictures and you take it to the store to develop them. You're gonna have a few blanks.
Or bad ones. I would say you'd have some bad ones. A shot wrong, jiggly, whatever.
Yeah, you're gonna have a few blanks.
Yeah,
you're gonna have a few blanks. Exactly. And we're gonna end it right there. And we'll be back Sunday, April 12th.
Yeah, 4/12, 4/12.
Yeah, a new episode. Yeah, a new Beatdown, new format, new everything. It's gonna be on audio and video right here on YouTube. A new beginning.
All right, sweet.
Yep. So from Beantown to your town, this is the Beantown Beatdown. Matthew Burris,
Gabe Chalmers,
saying, "See you later, bitches."
Bitches.
Yeah.